With the design of the rectangular footing. So design a rectangular footing for uniform thickness for an axially loaded column of 500 mm by 300 mm in size, transmitting a load of 700 kilonewton. The shape bearing capacity of the soil is 150 kilonewton per meter square. Use M15 grade concrete and mild steel reinforcement. So in this problem you have to design a rectangular footing. In the last problem we are designing a square footing for a square column. Here the column given is a rectangular one. So generally what we are doing in case of the rectangular column, we are providing a rectangular footing. So here the size of the column is given 500 mm by 300 mm. Then the M15 grade concrete is given and mild steel is given. So corresponding constant are the sigma cb is 5 Newton per mm square and sigma st is 140 Newton per mm square, and the load which is to be transmitted by the column is 700 kilonewton. Now first step we have to calculate the design constant, that is modular ratio is 18.66, neutral axis factor is 0.404, j is your, that is neutral lever arm constant 0.865, and the constant for the moment of resistance, that is your R, is 0.874. The next step, you have to shape bearing capacity of the soil will be given 150 kilonewton per meter square. Then calculate the, first we have to calculate the self-weight of the footing. We are assuming the self-weight will be the 10% of the total load acting on the column. So 10% of this W is nothing but your 700. So what is we are getting self-weight of the footing as the 70 kilonewton. So we have to calculate the total load acting on the footing. So total load is equal to 700 plus 70. So we are getting 770 kilonewton. That is the total load acting on the footing. Now area of the footing. Area of the footing is nothing but A, which is equal to total load divided by the shape bearing capacity of the soil. So 770 divided by 150. So simplifying this one, we are getting this 5.13 meter square, that is the area of the footing required. Then here we have to provide the rectangular footing. So let L is the length of the footing and B is the width of the footing. Now in case of the rectangular footing, what we are doing, we are providing the size of the footing in the same proportion of your size of the column. So here the size of the column is 300 mm by 500 mm. So A is the, we are considering that is the width of the column, that is 300 mm, and depth of the column will be the 500 mm. So B by L, that is width of the footing divided by length of the footing, is equal to width of the column divided by the depth of the column. So width of the column we are considering 300, depth of the column will be the 500. So what is we are getting? We are getting the ratio as 3 by 5. So what is we are getting? This width of the footing is equal to 3 by 5 times length of the footing. Now area of the footing rectangular is given by the area is equal to width multiplied by depth, that is B into L. So replace this value of the B as 3.5 times. So replace this value of the B as a 3 by 5 into L, and this one L. So area is given calculated here. Area is 5.13 meter square. We have to put up this 5.13 into this one. So after simplifying this one, we are getting this L square is equal to 8.55. So this L is equal to 2.92 meter. So generally we are go to the higher side, we are considering this as a 3 meter. So we are getting this length is equal to 3 meter. Now put up the value of the length here. So we are getting this width of the footing. So this width of the footing is 3 by 5 into 3, that is 1.8 meter. So overall we are getting the size of the footing as 1.8 meter by 3 meter. The next step you have to calculate the net upward pressure, which is given as P is equal to W divided by B into L. So W is nothing but the load, that is load carried by the column, not including the self weight of the footing. So 700 divided by 1.8 into 3. So we are getting this net upward pressure as 129.63 kilonewton meter square. The next one we have to go for the bending moment calculation. Is calculation of the bending moment. The critical section for the bending moment will be located exactly on the face of the column. So this is the bending moment section for critical section for the bending moment, which is parallel to the width of the footing, and this is the bending moment section for the bending moment which is parallel to the length of the footing. Now we have to consider the bending moment developed along both axis, x-axis and y-axis. Let bending moment along x-axis will be the m1. So for the calculation of the bending moment, we have to consider, that is net upward pressure multiply by the area of this rectangular section. So rectangular area of this rectangular section is nothing but this width multiply by this length of the rectangular section. So P into B into length, this length is given as L minus B divided by 2. So this will be indicates the force, and the perpendicular distance is nothing but L minus B divided by 4. Then we are getting this is the perpendicular distance. Then put up the values, then we are getting simplifying this one, then we are getting the bending moment developed along the x-axis is 182.29 kilonewton meter. Then we have to go for the bending moment along the y-axis. For that again we have to consider, this is the second rectangle, that is which is formed by this y-axis. Then again the net upward pressure multiply by the area of the rectangle, then we are getting the force, and this force should be multiplied by the perpendicular distance. Then we are getting the bending moment developed along the y-axis. So net upward pressure, that is P, is known one. Then we have to calculate this area of this rectangle, that is L multiplied by this one, and this is nothing but your B minus capital B minus B divided by 2 into perpendicular distance will be the B minus B divided by 4. Now put up the values, and after simplifying this one, we are getting the M2, that is bending moment developed along the y-axis, is 109.37 kilonewton meter. The next step, you have to go for the calculation of the depth of the footing. So this depth from the first x-axis bending moment along x-axis consideration. So D is equal to under root of M1 divided by R into B. Now put up the values. M1 is your 182.29 into 10 to the power 6. R is your moment of resistance constant, and B, that is 1800. After simplifying this one, we are getting this D is equal to effective depth of the footing is equal to 340.39. So go to the higher side. So we are providing the 350 mm as a effective depth. Now also we have to calculate the effective depth from the second bending moment consideration, that is from the bending moment along y-axis. So this D is equal to M2 divided by R into L. So put up the values, and then we are getting this bending moment as, effective depth as 204.23 mm. So go to the higher side, that is 205 mm. So you have to go for the maximum of these two. This is the from x-axis consideration, and this is the effective depth from the y-axis consideration, and we have to provide the higher of this two one. So we have to adopt effective depth of the footing as 350 mm. Then overall depth, assume effective cover as a 50 mm, then overall depth of the footing is given as, that is overall depth is equal to D effective depth plus effective cover. So 350 plus 50, so we are getting this as a 400. So this is the depth, overall depth we are providing for a footing. Then go for the check for the one-way shear and the two-way shear. The critical section for the one-way shear will be located exactly at a distance D from the face of the column. So this is your face of the column, and this is the position of your critical section. And the first we have to calculate the shear force which is developed. So shear force is nothing but, for calculation of the shear force, what we have to do, we have to consider, that is net upward pressure should be multiplied by the area of this rectangle, that is area of the rectangular number 1. Then we are getting the shear force developed at that section. So P, that is net upward pressure, then the area of the rectangle, this is the one of the side of the rectangle, that is your B, that is your depth of the footing. It should be multiplied by this length of this rectangle, which is given by L minus B divided by 2 minus D. So put up the values, value of the PB, then all the values are to be put up. Then after simplifying this equation, we are getting this shear force as a 210 kilonewton, which is equal to 210 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. Then the shear stress is given as tau V is equal to V divided by B into D. So V is 210 into 10 to the power 3, B is your 1800, and D is your effective depth. So shear stress developed is equal to 0.33 Newton per mm square. Now we have to go for the calculation of the shear strength of the concrete, and which is given as K into tau C, and the value of the tau C is depend upon the percentage of the steel. Now we have to go for the calculation of the percentage of the steel, which is given by the relation K into sigma CBC divided by 2 times sigma ST into 100. So put up all the values, that is constant, design constant. Then we are getting the percentage of the steel is equal to 0.72%. By referring IS 456, that is value of the K, we are getting this K will be depend upon the overall depth, and what in if the depth will be exceeding the 300, in that case the value of the K will be equal to 1. Then again refer IS 456 page number 19, sorry, table number 19, which is available on the page number 72. Then the calculate the value of the tau c, then the percentage of the steel will be there and the tau c will be there. So value of the percentage of the steel will be the 0.72%. So first we are having the value corresponding to the 0.50%, which is 0.46, and 0.75% we are having the value as 0.454. Then interpolating this to 1 and calculating the value of the tau c corresponding to the 0.72%. So we are getting the tau c corresponding to your 0.72 percentage of the steel as a 0.53 Newton per mm square. Then the shear strength of the concrete is equal to K into tau c. K is your 1, the tau c is 0.53. So it will be shear strength of the concrete as 0.53 Newton per mm square, and which is greater than the shear stress developed in the section. So your section will be the safer side as per the one-way shear is to be concerned. Then you have to also go for the check for the two-way shear. So critical section for the two-way shear will be located at a distance of d by 2 from the face of the column. Then we have to go for the calculation of the shear force. The shear force is given by this relation, that is P into bracket B into L minus A plus D into B plus D. Then we have to put up all the values, then calculate the shear force, that is shear force is 6 to 8.38 kilonewton. So this is the shear force developed. Then go for the calculation of the shear stress. Shear stress is given as shear force divided by B0 into D, and this B0 is nothing but the periphery of your critical section, and which is given by the relation periphery of the section will be the A plus D plus B plus D, and 2 times of this one we are getting the periphery of this critical section. So 2 into A is nothing but the width of the column, that is 0.5, plus D is your 0.35, that is your effective depth, plus depth of the column into effective depth. After simplifying this one, we are getting the periphery of the column as 3 meter. Then the tau v is given as, that is shear stress is given as shear force divided by B0 into D. Now simplify this one, then we are getting the tau v as a 0.9 Newton per mm square. This is the shear stress developed. Then the permissible shear stress is given by the relation Ks into tau c. Now Ks is given as the relation 0.5 into beta c, and this beta c is nothing but it is a ratio of shorter side of the footing divided by longer side of the footing. So shorter side is 1.8 and longer side will be the 3. Now we have to simplify this one, we are getting the value of the beta c as a 0.6. Then we have to go for the value of the Ks. Ks is 0.5 into beta c, so 0.5 into 0.6, so we are getting the Ks as 1.1. Then the tau c is given as 0.16 times FCK. FCK is your characteristic strength of the concrete. We are using the 15 grade of the concrete, so 0.16 into 15, so we are getting the value of the tau c 0.16 into under root of 0.15, so we are getting the tau c as 0.62 Newton per mm square. Then the permissible shear strength is given as Ks into tau c. So Ks is your 1.1 into tau c is your 0.62. Now after simplifying this one, we are getting the permissible shear strength as a 0.68 Newton per mm square, and which is greater than shear stress developed. So your section is again safe as per the two-way shear is to be considered. Then we have to last step, we have to go for the calculation of the reinforcement. So here the footing will be a rectangular footing, so we have to provide the one of the area of the steel which is parallel to the length of the footing, that is your AST1, and AST2 is nothing but the area of the steel which is provided parallel to the width of the footing. Now we have to calculate the AST1, which is given as M1 divided by sigma st j into d. So M1, that is bending moment, which is 182.29 into 10 to the power 6, sigma st, that is 140 permissible stress, into j is your 0.865 into d is your effective depth, that is 350. After simplifying this one, we are getting the area of the steel reinforcement required, that is 4300.81 mm square. Then let us provide 12 mm diameter of the steel bars. Then the number of bars required are 3, that is area of the steel divided by area of the one bar. Then we are getting the number of bars required. So number of bars required are 38.04. So we have to provide the higher side, that is 39 number of the bars we have to provide. Then AST2, the we have to AST2 is equal to M2 divided by sigma ST J into D. So M2 is nothing but the bending moment developed along the YY axis. So we have to put up this value, and all these values are similar to your AST1. Then after simplifying this one, we are getting the AST2 as 2580.39 mm square. So this is the area of the steel will be provided along the width of the footing. Then let us provide 10 mm diameter bars. Then number of bars required are the total area of the steel required divided by area of the one bar. So here after simplifying this one, we are getting the 32.87, which is equal to 33 number of bars. So here we have to provide 33 number of the bars along the parallel to the width of the footing. So this is the arrangement of the reinforcement. This is your position of the column. So along the length of the footing, we have to provide the 39 number of the bars of 12 mm, and along the width of the footing, we have to provide the 33 number of the bars of 10 mm diameter steel. So this is about the design of the rectangular footing.